welcome back to yet another episode of Tales of Olympus, the podcast where we dive into the wildest, most dramatic, and sometimes downright unbelievable stories from Greek mythology. I'm your host, Ariel I, and if you're new here, welcome. You just joined a community of mythology fans who love hearing these stories retold in a fun and modern way. And today we're going somewhere older than Zeus, older than Kronos, and even older than the age of the Titans. We're going back to when the universe was just a whisper. Welcome to the age of Nyx and Erebus, the first night and the first darkness, in the beginning before beginnings. Before the sea, before the sky, before mountains or stars, there was only chaos. Not everything exploding everywhere chaos. It's more like a vast silent nothing, a deep breath just waiting to happen. And out of that silence, two shadows formed. Okay, now, they weren't scary, they weren't evil, and they were simply there, like the comfort of night or the softness of a dark room. One was Nyx, Night herself, a goddess made of velvet shadows, starlight dust, mystery, and quiet power. Her presence was calm but strong enough to make even future gods shiver. And beside her was Erebus, the darkness between worlds. Not evil darkness, just a deep, peaceful dark that exists before dawn. Together they drifted through the empty universe. No words, no sun, no moon, just quiet. Just them. And for a long time, that was enough. Fun fact, Erebus, his name was actually somewhere that you might have heard of, but you didn't know. The underworld. We all know it's ruled by Hades, right? But before Hades took control of the underworld's name was Erebus, since, well, he was the darkness between worlds. Okay, now back to the story. And as I was saying, they were quiet, and that was enough for a long time, right? But then something changed. Nyx lifted her hand, and shadows curled around her fingertips like ink in water. Erebus breathed into the emptiness, and the darkness deepened. And together, they created the world's very first feeling. Can you guess what it is? It was a nightfall. And suddenly, the universe wasn't just empty anymore. It had weight, emotion, and it had the promise that something was coming. Nyx whispered into the dark. Let the others come. And oh, they did. From Nyx and Erebus, new beings formed, the oldest spirits in all of mythology. Aether, the bright upper air. Hemera, the first day. Hypnos, the god of sleep. Thanato, the god of peaceful death. And Momos, the god of blame. And Nemesis, the goddess of justice and revenge. And the Fates, who cut mortal lives and measure them on a loom. And the Hesperides, the keepers of the golden apples of immortality. And dreams, drifting like silver smoke. Every emotion human would ever feel started here right there in the dark. Nyx didn't raise her children with anger. She raised them with wisdom. She wasn't cruel, and she was just simply older, deeper, and quieter than any god who came later. And she loved her children with the steady patience of midnight itself. But soon a light would come. Aether's glow, Hemera's day, and the first sunrise. And when sunrise arrived for the first time ever, Nyx stepped back, not defeated, not afraid, just allowing the world to change. Every day, Hemera would rise and the world would shine, and every evening, Nyx would return and wrap the sky in night once more. And their dance became the rhythm of existence. When the world grew brighter, with Aether shining above and Hemera bringing day, most of the new gods were excited. Light, color, warmth, noise. But Nyx remained unchanged. She didn't compete with day. She didn't try to take the throne. She didn't need worship or temples. She simply just was. Night. Old as creation, quiet as breath, and powerful as mystery. The ancient Greeks believed that Nyx lived in a real place, the mansion of night, a snowy place far beyond the edge of the mortal world. You couldn't walk there. You couldn't sail there. You couldn't even fly there. It stood where the skies fade into nothing. A place where even gods grew nervous. Inside her home, dreams drifted like soft silver clouds. Quiet spirits wandered peacefully. Darkness wasn't scary. It was gentle and protective. Every night, Nyx left her mansion and draped her great cloak of darkness around the world. And when Hemera returned each morning, Nyx stepped aside with grace. No fighting and no anger, just balance. The first balance ever created. A long time later, fast forward, the Olympians rise. Zeus becomes king of the gods. Thunder shakes the world, the titans fall, and the gods are loud, proud, and powerful. And yet there is one goddess Zeus refuses to mess with. Not Hera, not Athena, and not Artemis. It was Nyx, because she was older than him, older than Kronos, older than the sky itself. And her power isn't about storms or fire or war. It's about the things gods can't control. Sleep, fate, dreams, death, and justice, and the deep human mind. Zeus can throw lightning, but Nyx can silence the world. And there was once a god named Hypnos, the god of sleep, one of Nyx's sons. Zeus was furious at Hypnos for putting him to sleep during a plan gone wrong. So Zeus chased Hypnos across the sky, and lightning blazing, storms screaming. Hypnos flew straight into Nyx's palace. And when Zeus arrived at the doorway, he stopped. He lowered his lightning bolt, and he backed away without a fight. Because even the king of gods knew that angry night itself is a terrible idea. Nothing in Greek mythology scares Zeus except Nyx. Nothing. Literally. Nyx isn't evil. She isn't a villain. She isn't a monster. She reminds us that darkness has a purpose. Rest matters, dreams are powerful, and night isn't the opposite of life. It's part of it. And in November, September, October, December, you know what I mean. Winter solstice. When the nights grow longer and the world moves closer to Nyx's ancient kingdom, and she watches quietly, like she always has. Now, let's finish this cosmic masterpiece. Let's finish with the children of night and a short introduction for each of them. Well, the more famous ones, because we don't have time for all of her children. Otherwise, this episode would be 1,000,000 minutes long or even more. Let's meet them now. The first one is Hypnos, the god of sleep, a soft, quiet figure with wings made of dusk. He doesn't slam people to sleep. He simply touches them and their thoughts meld into dreams. Every night he leaves Nyx's palace and glides all over the world, calming storms, slowing heartbeats, closing eyes. Even Zeus can't fight him. Lightning may be loud, but sleep is stronger. And the next is Thanatos, the god of peaceful death. Not a monster. If you thought he was, he's not scary, not cruel, but he's gentle. He carries souls like a whisper. He brings rest, not fear. The Greeks believed he was the soft, quiet moment between the last breath and peace. A true child of the night. And the third is the Fates, also known as the Moirai, or Moirai, depends. It features Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos, born from Nyx herself. These three sisters decide who is born, what their life third becomes, and when it ends. Not even Zeus or the gods can undo their decisions. The power of destiny? Yep, that's the Fate's legacy. And the fourth is Nemesis, the goddess of balance, fairness, and consequences. If someone becomes too proud, too greedy, too cruel, or too happy, Nyx's daughter, Nemesis, steps out of the shadows. She doesn't punish randomly. She restores balance. She's fair and she sees everything. Nemesis makes sure no one escapes the truth. And then the fifth, we have the Onerai, or the Onera. 1,000 dream spirits glide from Nyx's palace every night. Some bring sweet dreams with golden wings. Some bring nightmares with dark, smoky shapes. They enter through the gates of sleep and drift into the minds of mortals. Your imagination, your dreams, your stories at night, Nyx created that magic. And then we have the first dawn, Hemera. As well, we did that before, so we're just gonna skip this part. Instead, we're gonna do night versus day. Hemera, the goddess of day, was a Nyx's enemy. They were sisters, almost, but more of a mother-daughter. That's just the truth. Every morning, Hemera arrives at Nyx's palace door. Nyx steps inside, and day begins. Every evening, Hemera returns, Nyx steps out, and night begins. It's not a battle. It's a dance. The very first dance in the history of time. One can't exist without the other. Nyx isn't a villain. She isn't a shadow hiding in fear. She is everything that comes with night. And when winter comes, when the night grows long, like now, the world remembers Nyx. Her darkness isn't empty. It's full of life, stories, and stars. That's the real meaning of her myth. Darkness isn't the opposite of light. It's the space where everything just happened to begin. And that, my dear fans, is the end of this episode. Every dream you've ever had, every star you've ever seen, every deep breath right before falling asleep. Remember, Nyx. Night isn't empty. It's alive, it's powerful, and it's one of the oldest stories the universe has ever told. And thank you for listening to Tales of Olympus, where myths aren't just history, They are part of us. And if you like this episode, get ready because more gods, monsters, and cosmic secrets are dropping soon. I'm Ariel I, and I'll see you in the next myth. Good night, and or good morning, or good afternoon, and whatever. May Nyx guide your dreams as always. My name is Ariel. I'm 10 years old. Why do I keep saying that? My name is Ariel. I'm 11 years old, and I will see you next episode. Bye.